So to me, hate crime is any crimes that are fueled by hate, and they can be different extents. Could be serious violence against someone, or just really abusive language that can make someone feel awful. And I would say that usually they're fueled by people who are perpetrating them not understanding what it is about the other person. Some people being different, can be different races, people from different sexuality, different, different languages even, different cultures. People just not understanding where it comes from.
I think a crime that's committed against somebody that is motivated through any reason of dislike, I suppose. So it could be racial, it could be sexual, could be any number of reasons.
For me, a hate crime is when a person is victimised for being different, be it how they look, what they believe in, what their sexuality is, what they look like, how they speak. So any type of difference, or any sort of disability, be it a physical one, a mental one, a learning disability.
My name is Reece Battle. I think a hate crime is when someone is ridiculed for an aspect of themselves. I agreed to do this documentary because I want to raise awareness towards hate crime and what it does to people, and to share my experience of it. My experience started in secondary school, where people would comment on how I looked negatively. Okay, so one situation was that if I didn't change how I looked, or if I didn't go, say, they kept telling me to go get a haircut so that I could go, they would follow me after school.
To where?
Well, to the park to beat me up. It's what started it. It's what caused it.
What do you mean?
So, obviously through the comments and that, it's what actually activated my mental health.
Okay.
To seek help, talk to a professional if they can, and know that they're doing it out of jealousy or because they have nothing better to do, so what they're saying isn't true. First, to seek help from friends, family, like comfort, or talk to a professional. Another thing is to be headstrong about yourself, so have your self-confidence, don't let them belittle you because they're jealous of something you have and they don't. And another thing is, don't let their words take away your future, because it's not worth the price.
My name is Jessica Plummer. I don't look at it as a hate crime. I think it's more to do with children getting involved in things, wrong place, wrong time. I think it's more to do with jealousy, a lot more, or they getting influenced by older people outside wanting to sell the drugs, and I think say it's easier for them to approach a young person, knowing that to the older person it's like the younger child. As a mother who lost a son, I won't say it's been easy. It's been very, very difficult. It feels like your whole life has ended, and this is a life where you cannot get back, and you're forever living in fear as to the other children you have. It has broken me. It has caused a lot of illness on my part, and it has caused me to be more, how would I say it, more, it has brought me a little bit, although I love children, I love kids, it has brought me closer, even closer to more children. I lost my son Shaquan Sammy Plummer to knife crime on the 30th of January 2015. Shaquan was a young boy. He was 17, going to doing his A-levels at the sixth form in Le Swap, and he came in from, in fact, he used to work 2 jobs. He used to work sometimes on a Saturday doing serving in Tottenham when football matches, and he was working with Waitrose. That used to do that from Wednesday, I think it was Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, and then the Saturday he used to do work. But if he had a day off on a Saturday and Waitrose wanted him to work, he would come in and do stuff for Waitrose. And he still used to go to school, so he used to do the 2, because he used to work with Waitrose after school. So that Friday when he came in after school, he came in and he was he was inside. He went upstairs and changed how many times, and then he came into the mirror in the front room where we are right now, and he was dressing up and fixing and saying to me, "Mommy, do I look paying?" Because that's his word. But he wasn't a child in any gang. He wasn't involved in any gang or doing drugs. He was more into his schoolwork because he wanted to be ahead of Chantel, because I've got 2 other children, and Chantel was in university when that happened. And that day he left, the Friday he left, he said he was going to work. The how you call it, he left the day, and when he was going down, my last, which is something I do with all of them, I would say to him, make sure you be a leader, not a follower. And my neighbor, one of my neighbor, which is a good friend of mine, she spoke to him and she said to him, leave him. I said, Ray, just tell him. And my friend turned around and she said, leave him, Jess. You know he's a good boy. Just leave him. And then my son burst out laughing, and he left, he waved, and that was it. That's all I heard until the Friday evening when the doorbell knocked. The door ring, I was in the kitchen preparing their school clothes and his work clothes. And when the doorbell rang, that's when they told me. In fact, I did not know. When the doorbell rang, I left the kitchen, went into the window, and I was looking and I'm saying, no, you can't open the door. Why this boy have to be ringing the door like that? And when I went through the front room window, I saw the flashing blue lights. And then I said, no, I hope he wasn't in any trouble or anything like that, or he get involved in anything on the street, because your mind always go wanders off, isn't it? So what I did was I went downstairs, and that's when I got the news that my son got stabbed. But they didn't say he got stabbed. All they said, I need to go to the hospital. So I break down on the stairs and not knowing what to say. And then it was Andre and myself that was here. It's all a bit confusing because I told Andre. Andre said to me, I said to Andre, the man said for us to go into the hospital. And then I said to Andre to come, and Andre said no, he didn't want to. And I left with them, and then I told Andre to call the dad, and that's when we went to the hospital. And that's where we got to know that Shaquan got stabbed, and he got stabbed in an unprovoked attack, where they say he went to a party, but the boy did not allow him in, and the boy wanted to know what he had in the bag. And when he said he didn't give the boy the bag, he turned around and said to the boy to forget about it. When he told the boy to forget about it, he walked away. The boy then went into his house, got a knife, followed him, stabbed him to run and say to the friend, if anything happened to him, it's on the two friends. And then the boy ran off. And by then my son was fighting for his life. And I think by the time he got to the hospital, or if it's on the way from the hospital, he was then pronounced dead. Already set up a foundation in memory of my son. And it was due to two young ladies who came to visit me after I attended a march. The lady, one of them lost her son through the same knife crime a couple of years before Shaquan. And she said the best thing to do is to keep your son's memory alive. And I set up a foundation in memory of my son. And then now I go into schools and I talk about the implication of using a knife or a gun. And I try and educate children and parents against this horrible thing we are now facing. So my advice to children is take it on board. Choose life and not the knife or a gun. This is my advice to them. And remember, always respect your parents, respect your teachers, because it's very, 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 very important that you listen to them, because they are there to help us. And as like I said, as a community, we need to get together and try and see what we can do to help our young people, try to get them engaged, to get them more into schools, getting them to do more positive things. I cannot do it on my own. I need the help of others, because who am I to say I can stop knife crime? I cannot. I can just maybe reduce it by going into schools like I do and try and see what we can do to bring change. Need help also, they can feel free to contact me on the Shaquan Sammy Plummer Foundation. The email address is Shaquan, it's all in one, right? Shaquan Foundation @gmail.com. The website is www.shacksworld2015.wixsite.com/shacksworld.